Hi. Some of you might be aware that we had been doing a series called Going Digital, which has had a series of discussions with many experts in the area of digital technologies and digital initiatives. So, in the same spirit, we are starting a new series called Going Freelancer. So, for those of you who are interested in the profession of freelancing, the idea is that we give you some actionable insights over a couple of episodes so that you get some practical insights about what is it that one needs to do to get into the freelancing profession, understand how it is different from being employed in a company, get ideas about how to take off on a freelancing career, how to grow that profession, how to manage that profession. So, these are some of the things that we'll be talking about in a series of episodes over the next couple of weeks. So, I look forward to providing my insights, and I look forward to your suggestions as well on what we could do, based on your experiences, what you have learned about freelancing. Look forward to hearing from you guys as well. So, in this particular episode, I'm going to be talking to you about how freelancing is different from employment in a corporate. So, before I start, I thought I should first define what is freelancing, right? So, freelancing is basically a person who is self employed and who works on short term engagements with various clients. It need not be just one client, it could be multiple clients. So, why should one do it, and at what point in their life should one think about freelancing? So, this is very important for us to understand. So, the first thing is if we have deep expertise in a particular area, it could be a functional area, a technical area, it could be a soft skill, whatever it is, a deep expertise in a particular area that could be useful to corporates, right? And it is not dependent on your current company's resources. So, if you have a skill that very much depends on your company's resources, then you're going to struggle a bit as a freelancer. But if your expertise is completely sitting in your head, right, and you're able to provide that in a meaningful and a very structured manner to a variety of clients, then we are good, to get into a freelancing profession. Similarly, if you see that clients are appreciating your expertise, you may be working for a particular company and clients are appreciating that expertise independent of the company that you're working for, then again it's a good signal that you could be a freelancer. Another very important indicator, is there a genuine shortage of resources in that area? If you're getting into freelancing, it is important for you to know that there is a shortage, there is a need. For example, if you're a functional consultant for an ERP or a functional consultant for a CRM or whatever it is, and you see that there is forever a shortage of qualified experienced resources, right? That could be an area where you could get into freelancing. You should also have a desire to expand your expertise. Like, for example, you're working for a particular company, you might be feeling kind of constrained that I'm working for only one company. I would love to share this expertise with multiple clients and I could make money on that. uh, Another very important reason that you want to get into freelancing, ideally you should be kind of financially well settled. Yes, there are a number of people who are getting into the gig economy, freelancers, who are not so financially well settled. There is an element of risk there, but that's something that could be managed. But if you are financially well settled, that's another good reason to become a freelancer. And last but not the least, you are tired of working for the for corporates. You're tired of the politics that comes with it, the corporate culture that comes with it. If you are one of those people, yes, you could look at freelancing. You might note that I have kept this particular point at the very end, because this is not a good reason to become a freelancer. A lot of people get into freelancing thinking that, hey, I will make it in this line because I'm sick and tired of working for corporates. Only if the previous reasons that I have mentioned are actually applicable to you, then you could go for freelancing. Now, let's talk about a bit about the differences between employment and freelancing. So, obviously, one of the most important things is Once you become a freelancer, there is no concept of any job security. There is no concept of a fixed income. If you're very used to a particular income coming and hitting your bank account every month, that's going to stop the moment you become a freelancer. Now if your household expenses, your fees, your EMIs are very dependent on a fixed income, and remember that once you become a freelancer, it does take some time before you establish yourself and start getting a fixed, stream of revenue, which can run your expenses and run, all your EMIs and stuff like that. Obviously, there's no benefits like provident fund, insurance, and any other perks that you were getting as an employee. Now, one very important thing that you need to note when you become a freelancer, when we work for large corporates or even for small and mid-sized companies, almost everything that we need to perform our jobs well are done by somebody else. So, for example, there's somebody who's doing marketing for you and generating leads. There's somebody who's closing the sale. There's somebody who's actually making proposals. There is somebody who is doing delivery of the actual service. There is somebody who then does the invoicing, the collection of money, the accounting, the tax payment, the compliance, everything. Now once you become a freelancer, remember that many of these functions, or almost all of them, will need to be done by you as an individual. So there is a certain amount of pressure this creates, and a lot of freelancers tend to get overwhelmed by these things. Of course, in the subsequent episodes, we will be talking about how you could handle these things. We will provide a few templates which will hopefully make life easy for you, in managing some of these things, whether it be marketing or sales or accounting or what have you. So we will be talking about some of these things in the subsequent episodes, but it is important for you to understand that when you move from an employee to a freelancing kind of role, almost all of these things will need to be taken care by you. So there's no point in cribbing about it. Once you become a freelancer, you have to accept it and realize that this is an important aspect of becoming a freelancer. Another important thing is this is way more competitive than a job, because today there is a very significant number of people who have come into the freelancing market. Many lost their jobs and became freelancers. Some became freelancers of their own volition. So therefore, it's a very competitive market. So I spoke about some of the challenges. Let's talk about the good parts as well, right? How is it different from a employment? Obviously, as a freelancer, you get to set your own hours. You get to decide how many hours a day you will work, how many clients you will target. You could work with multiple companies at the same time, or you could work with just one company. It's completely your decision, based on the kind of cash flow you need, based on the kind of bandwidth you're able to give to that job. You can decide your own working hours. You can decide the number of clients you work with. You get to set your own price, your own models. How do I price my work? Do I price it by hour? Do I price it by day? Do I price it by month? So you get to decide all these things. Many of the things that you couldn't do as an employee of a company, as a freelancer, you have complete freedom to do all of that. The word itself, freelancer, you're free of all the restrictions that any corporate could typically put upon you. Of course, over a period of time, it can create very significant revenue models once you have a decent reputation in the market. Immediately, the moment you start out as a freelancer, there might be a phase which there is a bit a bit of a lean phase where you don't have too much revenue. But I will be talking about how does one prepare, what does one do in the first 100 days once one becomes a freelancer, in the subsequent episodes. So just to summarize quickly, freelancing is a very, very satisfying and enriching profession. Definitely, it is increasingly becoming important with the gig economy, but there is a significant change in the mindsets, habits, which will need to accompany your decision to become a freelancer, which is very, very different from working as an employee in a company. I hope you found this useful. I look forward to your comments and your suggestions and your thoughts about how freelancing is different from being an employee of a company. Thank you very much.